So here we're going to be doing Excel lesson 6th grade, lesson 82, and this lesson is on the shortcut for division, a short division method. So it says here that short division is a faster method of long division. Notice that in number 1, notations are used for the division with remainders. For number 2, the work is done without notations. Compare the steps on the left with the long division on the right. So what's happening here is they're saying 4 goes into 27 6 times. 6 times 4 is, you would mentally do this, 24. That gives you a remainder of 3. I'm sure you're going to have to see that on your paper rather than here on the screen. And so what you want to do then is combine the 3 with the 4 to make the number 34. And then we would put 4 into 34, and 4 goes into 34 8 times, which is 8 times 4 is 32. So the leftover between 34 and 32 is 2, and they put a little tiny 2 right there that goes with the 8. And then the last step would be to do 28 divided by 4, which is 7, and that 7 would go right there in that last spot, as you can see on your paper. Now, how do you compare these problems? Well, when you look at this problem here and this problem over here, you'll see that 6 times 4 is 24. Here's that little remainder number that was written next to the other digit, and then it was put next to the 4, and so you end up with the number 34, just like you did in the last problem. Same thing with the second step, is that when you did 4 times 8 is 32, in your head, here's the 32, and then when we subtract we get a 2, and that joins with the 8, 28, but it's the same thing that we see on this other one over here with the little small notation, the shortcut method. And so here you see the final step of 7 going into 28, or 4 going to 28 7 times. And the same thing happens right over here. So you can check your answer with multiplication. They show you that 687, which is this number here, the quotient, times 4, the dividend, should come out to be the the divisor should come out to be the dividend of 2,748. Okay, for this next problem that they have on your paper, I'm going to actually do the problem step by step for you right here on the screen. Might be better if you actually watch me doing this rather than looking on your paper. So what we're going to do is ask, does 3 go into 1? Of course 3 doesn't go into 1, so we have to join it with the next digit. We say, does 3 go into 15? How many times does 3 go into 15? It goes in exactly 5 times, so I just stick the 5 up here. 5 times 3 is 15, so there's no leftover. So that means that the 2 is left there by itself with no remainder joining with that. So 3 goes into 2 how many times? Well, it doesn't go into 2. It goes in 0 times. So 0 times 3 is 0, which means that this 2 is actually the leftover. So the 2 then would join with the 1, it's after it, to make 21. 3 goes into 21 7 times. So you can see it's a much faster way than having to do all the work that goes down below here to get the solution of that problem. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to do this other problem one step at a time rather than you looking at it on your paper. It might be best if you just watch it here on the screen. So 3 goes into 3 how many times? Well, that goes in once. There's no remainder. So now I'm going to put the 3 into the 6. That goes in 2 times. There's no remainder. And then the 3 going into the 5, that goes in 1 time. The remainder of that is 2. So we add a little 2 next to the 1 there. And then 3 goes into 21 7 times. Very simple to do that using the division shortcut.